What is going on, legends? So you want to learn how to build an app. You've seen people building new softwares, new applications, maybe personal apps, or maybe you've seen people selling apps to other people for thousands of dollars and you're like, right, I want to get a piece of this. I want to learn to build software. I want to learn to build apps, but I don't know how to code. I don't know what to do. This seems like it's way too technical. That's why I'm here. I'm here for you because I'm going to teach you how to build apps. That right there, I just won $5,000 from a Lovable hackathon, which is one of the AI coding apps that we are going to use in today's video. So I know a little bit about how to use these, all right? That's like my little trophy over there. I'm very stoked on it. I'll have a whole video on that another time. But in this video, we're gonna raw dog going through the very beginning first steps that you need to go through in order to build your first application. So as I mentioned, we are going to be using Lovable. You can use Bolt, you can use Replit, you can use Cursor. In this video, we're gonna be using Lovable. I will go through my entire tech stack that I use every single step of the way. We will also be using Lovable to connect with supabase to build our backend database in the next video. And then we're also going to be using Cursor to further build our current product. I'm going to take you guys through every single step of this process that helps me go from idea to app, an actual functioning app, not just an MVP. This is also going to be an amazing video if you are currently stuck in what we call error loops, or you have an app already, but it's not working and you're wondering why. It all comes down to your planning. The very beginning of when you begin your project, from the first prompt that you put into whatever AI coder you use, that will determine practically your future of how your app build is going to go. So if you mess up some of these first steps, or you don't have a plan and you go into it quote unquote vibe coding, you're gonna find a whole lot of issues that you're not gonna want to deal with down the road. So if we go into this and have proper planning and we know exactly what we're gonna do as we continue forward with building this app, things are gonna go a lot smoother. So that's what we're gonna do in this video. There are a million different ways that you can go about building your app, or how you wanna prompt it, or giving rules, and there's so much stuff that you can learn with it. Here's the reality of it though. I can show you how to build an app from scratch. I'll show you how to go through every step of this, as we're gonna do right now. This is what works for me, and this is what I consistently use every single time to actually get functioning apps, okay? Within 24 to 48 hours. Not 30 minutes, or like people on Instagram that are for 60-second videos. No, these do take a little bit of time, but I promise you, within literally a day or two, you can have a fully functioning app, or you can go build an app for somebody and sell it for thousands. So here's the first thing we need to start with. We have a checklist. Okay, I'm gonna go through these one at a time real quick with you. Number one, is it mobile? Is it desktop? Or is it a bit of a hybrid? Do you need your app to work on phones and desktop? Or is this mainly gonna be focused for users just on desktop or just on mobile? Okay. Does your app have a color scheme, or would you like to just freeball? Half of the time, to be quite honest, I freeball, and that works perfectly fine. We can mess with colors later. But if you do have a specific color scheme, it's good to let your AI coder know what your color scheme is. Important, who is this for? One of the biggest things that I see people going about with their app building right now is that they're just like spitting out apps that have no like actual target audience or actual use. Which, here's one part of this side, right? Cool, you can go and build apps for fun, which I would suggest you honestly go and do. Like, go build apps for fun just because you want to learn how to do this. That's the only way you're gonna get better. But if you guys actually want to make money, cold hard doubloons in your pocket, then you need to figure out a product that's gonna actually fit to a specific person or a specific audience, right? If you can do this and you want to make money, who is this app or this product for? Figure that out. Number four, what does it do? Does it take photos and then analyze them? Does it make spreadsheets? What does it do? Number five, is it for one user or is it for many users? The reason I put this in here is because this will tie into our database video, which is gonna be part two. It's gonna be the next video. But we wanna know, are we making this app just for a single user, such as yourself or for a friend or something? To where they don't need, account details, a login, saved information. It's just an app that works. You just go onto it like a website. Think of it like an image compressor website. You just go online, you throw your image in, it compresses it and it gives it back to you, right? It just works. You don't have to sign in, you don't have to log in, it doesn't save your info. So is it for one user or is it for many users? Number 6, do your one user or many users need saved profiles? These kind of go hand in hand. Are you going to need to build out user profiles to where we need to save user information? For example, a task tracking app to track your daily tasks. You probably need a user profile, right, that someone uses to sign up and make an account so that all of their tasks are saved inside of their profile. We need to associate data with a profile. So, do we need to do that or do we not need to do that? And then number 7, any specific tech stack. Does it use AI? Do you need payment processing? What tools do you need to make your app actually work? For example, what I mean by tools, if you're unfamiliar with this, is that when I did this hackathon over here, I used multiple tools together to make my app actually work. So I used OpenAI's Whisper to convert speech into text. And then I used Claude for tool calling and processing the actual text input. And then I used 11 Labs to actually convert the output text into voice. So there were 3 different tools in that tech stack. So we want to figure out what our tools are that we need to make our app do whatever it is we kind of need it to do. Lovely. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to fill this out. I'm going to do this with you guys, okay? So number 1, is it mobile first, desktop first, or does it need to look good on both? So we're going to say this is going to be desktop/mobile friendly and responsive. Okay. Does your app have a color scheme or freeball? I'm going to say color scheme equals black. No, let's go white, black, and yellow. We'll go for a super clean scheme there. And then number 3, who is this app for? So in this video, we are going to be building basically an inventory management tool for car dealerships. So who is this for? This is going to be for car dealerships and car salesmen with a focus on customer experience. All right. Car dealerships and car salesmen with a focus on customer experience. Great. What does it do? It's an inventory manager for car dealerships and a front landing page. Oh, we'll say a front end website for customers to view a dealership's current inventory and send inquiry emails. Cool. Is it for one user or for many? This is going to be for many. So I said this web app is for many users as it needs employee, car salesman, login, and customer-facing users who see inventory and can inquire about specific vehicles. My light just shut off. 1 second. Why that? I just bought this light like 2 days ago. Why did you just shut off? Wow, honestly, that is such a bummer. I just bought that light 2 days ago and it literally just like died. Anyways. All right, number 6, does your one user or many users need saved profiles? So I'm gonna put car salesmen will need profiles, but customers do not. Lovely. Any specific tech stack? Does it use AI? Do you need payment processing? What tools do you need to make this actually work? Okay, so I'm gonna say in this case, no specific tech stack for tools. We will need supabase later for the database. Now, if you guys are completely new to this and you've heard of supabase, or maybe you haven't, supabase is a database where we store all of our app's information. So whenever somebody makes, for example, an account, or we add inventory for each vehicle, we store all that information into a table, into the database. So that anytime somebody goes back to your application, we can actually go get that information and pull it back into our app so that people can see it, right? Because if we don't have a database, then what's going to happen is our app is saying, hey, where's that Porsche photo? And it has no Porsche photo to give back. And that's a problem. So that's what supabase is used for in a nutshell. Cool. So now we have pretty much our 7 kind of key components of our prompt. And we have an idea of what our app does, who it's for, what does it do. This is where it gets a little bit more fun. Okay. So now I'm going to take this entire thing here. Okay. I'm going to take all of this entire thing, and I will give you guys this Notion. This will be down in the description. So just click that link and you will have access to this entire little cheat sheet spreadsheet. Okay. So I'm going to copy all of this. Boom. And now I'm going to go over to Claude. Let's go to Claude here. Now I have my main prompt that I'm going to go ahead and feed into Claude. So I'm saying I'm building a web app and I have key information below, which I will provide. The web app is a dealership inventory manager for Porsche and a front-facing user inventory viewer where customers can view inventory and inquire about vehicles in the dealership's inventory. Please analyze the details below, provide me back the completed prompt with the project details in MVP form. We will work on database later. incorporate design details into the prompt. Okay, so this is a pretty bare bones starter prompt here, but a couple of things. I'm using Claude because the actual coding LLM that Lovable, Cursor, most of these app development softwares use Claude. So I would rather talk straight to the source of the knowledge than try and use some other LLMs. I just stick in Claude. It works great. I like it, honestly, so I stick with it. So below this, I'm gonna go ahead and paste all of that information into here, and I'm gonna let that rip. Cool, and let's see what it comes up with. Basically, what I want Claude to do is analyze everything that I've given it just in like a quick bare bones format. And then I want it to spit out the end prompt for me, which is going to be the prompt that we will feed into Lovable to get this thing started. Okay, as I promised, we are gonna actually build this app today. So work with me here a little bit. Cool, so we have a whole bunch of stuff going on here. All right, so we don't need all of this. So let's tell it, create the first starter prompt from the prompt format I provided. So I said create a first starter prompt from the first prompt format that I provided so we can begin building the web app in MVP form. So there we go. Now we can see that it's kind of spitting everything out for us. So I'm just gonna go ahead and copy this. And now I'm gonna go to Lovable and now we can start building, okay? So I'm literally just gonna paste that in there and I'm gonna let that spin up and we'll see what we get. So give it just a minute here and we'll come back and then see kind of what we get off of this first prompt. All right, and we're back over here and we have our first build where we can actually see what Lovable has built for us. So we can see at the bottom here, we have an error, build unsuccessful. We can go through these. It looks like it's just a couple little minor errors. We can hit try to fix and it should go through and literally fix those errors for us. That's a very simple, common issue, small error that happens on your first build. Do not be alarmed by it. It's totally normal, you're fine. Okay, so it's gone ahead and actually fixed that error for us. Very minor error, it happens. Just click on try to fix and see if Lovable can fix that error for you. Let's take a look at this current page that we have set up here from Lovable that it spit out based on our first prompt. So we have a bit of a header section. It used our color scheme, black, white, and yellow. We have a nice filter up here, make, model, pricing, search vehicles. We have some featured vehicles up here, why choose us. I mean, this is a great like starting point, and this is the whole point of this video is just to get the MVP, which the MVP version is the non-functioning version of the product. This is just the bare bones. How does it look? How do the pages work? We just want to get the styling down first. So this looks great. Let's go check inventory. Beautiful. So we have some inventory. Let's check how this looks on mobile because like we said, we want this to be on mobile and desktop friendly. Mobile view, nailed it. Beautiful. We have a couple little drop downs here. We can do some filtering. Yeah, it looks great. We have a nice little like burger menu up here. Cool. Let's go back to desktop view and see the about. Cool. It made literally an about page for us. It put a team page. Look at that. It put team in there. It found stock photos for the team profile pictures. Our locations, downtown, west side, east side. Great. This is super cool. Contact, like we said, we wanted people to be able to email us. So here's a contact form. Easy as. Facilities, find us. We can do a map placeholder there. Now that we have the bare bones structure of our MVP here, which is our dealership inventory management site, we can now go ahead and just kind of like fine tune this a little bit. So I'm going to walk you guys through how I would fine tune an MVP and get the design to where I want it to be before we go into moving on to the database. So let's jump into this first. The main thing I want to do right now is change this background image. So I'm literally just going to open a new tab and I'm going to search up, let's just do Porsche dealership image. And we're gonna go to images and trick tip here. You can hit tools, size, large. Beautiful. And I mean, this looks gorgeous right here. Cool. So I can just right click on this, hit copy image address right there. So now I'm gonna go back to Lovable and I'm gonna say, add this image URL, put in quotations, paste in the URL as the header image background image on the home page. So anytime that you prompt this or you want to make some kind of change, you want to make sure that you are as clear as humanly possible. You have to talk to this thing like a toddler. As much as AI is insanely powerful and you would think it knows everything about your project, which you have all right to assume so, it does not. Not always, at least in this scenario. So as I'm putting here, I'm going to say add this image URL, that URL, as the header image background image on the homepage, because I'm assuming that it might have possibly added an image here, unless it just made that black, but we're gonna assume it tried to. So I'm gonna go ahead and click enter, boom, let that run, and see if it can go ahead and put that image as our header. Okay, and there we go. Now we have our image on the header, just like that. Super quick and easy. And that's what I would do for editing images anytime you want to replace images or place in new images. This is looking pretty solid so far. The main thing I want to do right now is start configuring how these vehicles look when you click on them. So we can see I click on this image and I can see some of the details about this car. So cool. So we have overview, we have a description, we have the features, specifications. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, this was like perfect off of the first prompt. I mean, I would say the only thing that would be pretty cool is doing a comparison. So being able to compare a car to another car's features and specs. What I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna enter chat mode. Chat mode in Lovable will allow you to just chat back and forth with your AI assistant here, and it will not make any actual code changes. So the goal here, of course, is having a vehicle comparison model, some way that we can compare vehicles to one another. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna ask it, I want to add a vehicle comparison section in the vehicle inventory /ID page where the user sees a selected vehicle specs and info with a compare section at the bottom that will allow the user to compare the current vehicle specs and features to another selected car in the dealership's inventory. Reminder, we do not have database set up yet, as we will do this later. But can you build the MVP version of this feature first and create a plan of how this would work? I'm gonna go let that run. The reason why I'm going into chat mode is because I want it to think through how we're actually going to build this feature before just telling it to build the feature. Sometimes what you can do is make it think for itself instead of just telling it like, hey, I want this feature. You might get some pretty weird results if you just tell it to do something. Instead, have it think about how to do something, and then it will ask you if you want to implement it. So we're gonna wait for this response here. It's going through the code base, it's looking at everything and creating a plan about how it's going to actually build this out. Okay, so here we go. We have the complete plan. So we have state management, comparison state, user preference, components to create. These are all the components it needs to build. Integration with existing code, helper functions, mobile responsive, future database integration, yada, yada, yada. It's figured out the entire process on how to build this new feature. Let's go ahead and click implement the plan. It's gonna take itself out of chat mode and go back into what we would call agent mode. So it's gonna start working on implementing the plan. Figured out exactly where I wanna put it. It's figured out how it's gonna build this out. And now we should be able to see how this is gonna work. Okay, so it looks like it's finished adding these new features here. It says it's still saving the changes, so always wait until it says saving changes is finished, and then we should be able to see the updates that it's made. So let's see here, overview, feature, specifications, and compare. All right, and now we can compare this model just like that from the price comparison of our current vehicle to the other vehicle that we've selected, which appears to be a BMW 3 Series. So we can see right here, it says save 16.5 specifications, and then we have the current model versus the other model selected, and it's done everything for us, just like that. One thing I want to point out here is that building something like this for an actual engineer, or if you wanted to pay a development team to build you something like this, one, it's going to cost you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to build this. And two, this takes a long time to do. As you guys see, we've just done this in quite literally, if I wasn't recording the video, it would have taken me 5 minutes. Recording the video, we've currently now built quite literally MVP version of a car dealership inventory management system and front-end website in 20 minutes. It's insane, man. It's really insane. All right, let's switch the vehicle model, Honda Accord. Oh, it's $1,800. All right, cool. So this one's 1,200 miles. The other one's 8,200 miles. Like, this is insane. What reset comparison? Okay, so I just resets it, and then we can just compare them. Cool. So it looks like the next feature that I'm curious about is the send inquiry. It already pops up a page, name, email, phone number. I'm interested in learning about the 2023 Toyota Camry hybrid. Here's the ID. Please contact me with additional information. That's awesome. And then there's already a call dealer and a scheduled test drive. Like, if I'm just saying, if you have a local dealership, I know this is an example, but if you have a local dealership that has an absolutely garbage website and maybe their inventory is constantly out of date, you can build them something like this for like $10,000, $12,000, whatever you want to sell that for. All I'm saying is you can sell it for a lot of money. From here, the only thing that you would have to do is that if you had anything very specific that you wanted to have changed, just talk back and forth with your agent here and make those changes to make it look and function kind of however you want it to work, right? This is your creativity or your client in mind. Do what you need to do to get it to a working MVP. And then in the next video, because this is going to be a totally separate subject, we're going to start talking about database. And database, for your reference, is going to be how we actually save these vehicles so that we have actual live information, right? How do we save these vehicles? We save the price, we save the mileage, we save the images, the description, the features, specifications, and then we can actually build out the compare stats to actually work properly. Because right now, again, this is just the MVP. So this is just how does your product, so we need to connect this with the database. The database section, we're also going to cover the dealer login, which we can see that it has added us a nice little portal here at the top. And let's see, I haven't even checked to be honest, but did it add us a admin page? It looks like it possibly had. So it looks like it just made us kind of like a dealer login, which of course this isn't functioning right now, but in the next video, we will make that function. So that's gonna be in the next video. I'm gonna go into exactly how to set up your supabase, how to get your table set up the correct way and actually organize your database so that you don't have an insanely messy database, which can cause so many issues down the line. So stay tuned for the next video. It's gonna be absolutely awesome. It's gonna be packed full of a bunch of really useful information. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna be making videos about Lovable, about Bolt, about Cursor, about Go High Level. There's so much amazing stuff that we're gonna be making videos about. So make sure you subscribe, turn the notifications on, and I will see you guys in the next video.